Welcome, everyone. A warm welcome to our audience, our authors, our editorial advisory board, and our special guests. It's a pleasure to host this book launch event that marks the end of a long yet highly determined and passionate labor journey for all of us. Please allow me to extend my gratitude to all of you for sharing your expertise, experience, and for your patience. Furthermore, we could have not done it without the IGI Global team that generously offered their guidance throughout this process and also was very patient with us. As we know, our efforts spanned the pandemic, and although it brought us all together and we were very grateful for that, it also posed unique challenges, as we know. Our event aims to celebrate women empowerment, and we hope it will also serve as a call to action to reignite and accelerate our quest to attain UN SDGs by 2030. As all of you are aware, recent global reports emphasize that we lost a cumulative 136 years of progress equivalent due to the pandemic, and the forecasts due to the current geopolitical situation are not looking any better. Actually, they pose heightened challenges. In addition to all the beautiful ideologic reasons many of you will share today, I also wanted to accentuate a few key statistics that highlight why women play a crucial role. So even if someone might challenge us on the ideology reasons, statistics never lie. And I wanted to share with you that as of today, women represent 49.59% of the world's population, undeniably. And actually, if we look at the subsegment above 65 years old, they represent 55.7% of the world's population. Also, the latest statistics from United Nations and World Bank highlight that there are currently 3.3 billion people employed worldwide. And out of those 3.3 billion, 1.3 billion are female. There are also several industries, when we look at statistics, again, published by numerous organizations, where women have a predominant role. And two that I always like to highlight because they are foundational to everything we're going to talk today are education and healthcare. If we do not educate ourselves and if we're not well enough to be present, how can we impact any of the SDGs? So I think these numbers are speaking for themselves, and they're a nice complement to all the other beautiful elements that I know you'll share today. The book, as all of you know, I'm just going to briefly highlight what our vision and mission was for this book. The impact of women's empowerment on SDGs in the digital era discusses global issues surrounding the gender gap and how women's empowerment can contribute to each of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And our chapters highlight opportunities, challenges, drivers of success, the importance of ethical leadership in order to successfully create a women's empowerment legacy for future generations. And we're covering a range of topics, as our audience will hear, from finance, digital identity, healthcare, and deep tech impact investing, so the whole gamut. The book was designed to serve as a reference work for key decision makers and policymakers to illustrate the various facets and domains that we must consider. We also believe that each chapter can highlight unique regional challenges and maybe unique industry challenges, and hopefully also encourage further discussion and further events. One of our colleagues actually mentioned that after this book launch, we could do one event for each of the chapter topics as a series the whole year. And that might be a great idea to be able to hone in on all these. So today, we would just like to introduce our audience to the chapters and to our vision and mission, but I invite you all to, if you agree, join our series through the year. So what I thought it would be great to aim to do, I know everybody has a different schedule, but if we could start with our Foreword special guests that were kind enough to share their expertise and their valuable insights, I think it would be awesome. And then, so Kristina, you could go first, introduce yourself, and then share why you wrote the foreword and why you were so generous to agree to do it. And then Sheliie will go right after. So welcome to all, and let's start with Kristina.
Thank you so much, Ingrid, and thank you to everybody else as well for having me today. I am a digital policy consultant. I work with organizations, governments, non-governmental entities such as the UN to help understand the benefits and also the risk that comes with various uses of digital and technology channels. And so in that capacity, as well as as a advisor at the XR Safety Initiative, which is very much concerned with how do we not only ensure privacy and safety within the coming era of technology, inclusive of the metaverse, but how do we also build accessibility? How do we build equity into the process? I was very, very honored to write the foreword. I was very drawn to this because I have a very personal story of empowerment that I was very fortunate to be born into. It was just something that happened with both sides of my family. And I recognize that that's a gift that not a lot of women have. And so to that end, I was very, very delighted and very appreciative of the opportunity to support this effort. I think one of the things that I see every day that we tend to forget is that without women, the world would literally end. Like without women, the world is over. And yet women continue to face gender-based discrimination. And that's true all over the world. If we take a look, gender inequality makes and keeps women poor. And they deprive basically women of human rights that they should have, as well as everybody else. And one of the things that I saw with this book and why I'm so grateful that you've written it is that empowering women, ensuring a sustainable future is really where we can get to and we should get to, but we don't get there unless we actually do something. We need to act. Digital literacy, as we know, and scaling are a game changer for women's empowerment. And as you said, Ingrid, at the beginning of today's event, we have a lot of work ahead of us, but that work is now boosted by this incredible piece of work. And so when I think about that, I certainly say congratulations to everyone involved with bringing this book into the world. It's not an easy job, as I've experienced. In fact, it can be very, very challenging and take a very long time. So it's not a small feat that you took a lot of effort and a lot of hard work and a lot of foregoing of other things you could have done with your time to bring this book into the world, to help us all have a roadmap on how we start to change that game for women's empowerment. And to everybody else who's listening or anybody else who's wondering, is this book for me? I share a call to action. I don't think that any one person is the solution. We just can't have a single person solution to this incredible problem, but together we can be the solution. And I believe that what we're lacking at this moment is a piece of work that empowers us towards that goal. But the great news is that now we no longer lack that roadmap. We no longer lack that work, because with today's event and the launch of this great book, we can actually make that change. We have a roadmap, we have a deeper understanding, and we can certainly escalate the call to action and accelerate forward, not just to build in inclusivity, right? Because we talk a lot about inclusivity, but that also assumes that women have a way to come to the conversation, to come to the table, to participate. That's not enough. We actually have to build space. We have to actually enable equity so that women who want to participate don't just receive the invitation, but they can be fully empowered into the solution of the future, and they can actually have a game-changing role in the solution itself. So very grateful to have written the foreword, been invited to support you in this effort, and I'm extremely proud, and most especially, I'm very grateful to all of you. So thank you very much for doing this, and thank you for giving this gift to all of us.
Thank you. We really appreciate your contribution and your valuable insights and this inspirational start to our event. Thank you. Great. And then Sheliie, would you briefly introduce yourself to the team as well, and then also share what made you help us and contribute to this book?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Dr. Sheliie Hipsky. I'm the CEO of Inspiring Lives International, the Global Sisterhood Executive Director, and the Editor-in-Chief of Inspiring Lives magazine. I've had the great honor of being able to speak all over the world, and my Global Sisterhood has actually been able to do incredible acts of empowerment internationally, from our school in Tanzania for entrepreneurial studies to Dr. Mina, who is one of my dear friends and has been able to, she was a Harvard researcher who went when there was an earthquake back in her homeland of Nepal, she left her job because a lot of her family members had been killed in the earthquake. And she went back to Nepal. And when she was there, she saw that there was so much illiteracy there in Nepal, where she grew up, and where she wanted she wanted to see it flourish. She wanted to see the women flourish, because once we empower a woman, we empower a community, and we can empower the world through that. When Dr. Mina saw this, she contacted the Global Sisterhood. She got all of her resources together, and she has taught over 87,000 women to read and write. These type of impacts can happen only when we come together as a sisterhood, when we come together with the knowledge, when we come together with the research. And that's what Dr. Ingrid has done for us. She has pulled together these different women around the world to bring us together, to bring and share our knowledge, our research, and going towards those sustainable development goals that the UN has put towards us, so that we can come together with a battle cry, with a mission, and make this happen. And I'm so thankful for Dr. Ingrid for bringing us all together today and in the days prior and the days future, so that we can have this development in empowerment, particularly in this digital age. We were all, on lockdown and COVID, and the way that we were able to come back together was through these Zoom meetings, was through meeting these incredible women and people around the world through our computer screens or through our phone screens. And I think that this book is going to really raise the bar for women internationally, so that we can meet those sustainable development goals. So thank you all for joining us on this mission. And I'm just delighted that I was able to write the other foreword. So thank you, Dr. Ingrid, and everyone on this call.